And our audio is live. How's everybody doing tonight? Well, I guess this evening in the Barron Nation. Last time we were on air, your men's soccer team was able to get a tie with the Truett McConnell Bears. Now the Barons are having their season opener with the Weber International Warriors. Currently, you might not have heard in the background a little bit. They were checking if I was muted. Had a little bit of other technical difficulties yesterday. Setting up for today's game, just so that way we get some stuff cleared out of the way. First of all, the weather is absolutely fantastic. The sun being covered up by the clouds, making sure there's absolutely no glare. Some of our crew is saying it's a little humid, though, mostly because some people can't go a day without complaining. But that's okay. About to start our clock in just a little bit. As we do that, I'll go over our starting lineups currently on the field. It's going to be a little difficult trying to see the Warrior International numbers as I broadcast the game just a little bit because of the coloring of it. But, however, fortunately, we do have our crew with a little bit of binoculars. It's going to be a little slower on that. And starting off with this clock as we go forward, Cameron Lane, number 1, is coming in with the Warriors, along with Kaylee DeLeon, Hannah Essen, Dominica Pena, Leah McDyad, Hannah Vigoti, Emily Velez, Brazil Clark, Becky Wilkinson, Hayden Roop, and Marta Gavallo. As the Warriors bringing outside their pitch. Already, before I'm even able to get to the Barons starting lineups, Bailey already is taking a shot. Looks like our Lady Barons are going aggressive today. Gonna go and have to say these lineups while I can before the Barons do something impressive. 00, Kelsey Stapler is going to be starting off along with number 2, Cameron Laster, number 7, Yesenia Zamudio, number 9, Caitlin Ladner, number 11, Chloe Bailey, number 12, Diana Chaka, number 14, Viviana Martinez, number 20, Nikki Clark, 22, Courtney Powers, 25, Amy Stugastume, and along with number 26, Ashley Venegas. That ball is sent on flying back. Stapler's able to take it back over, though. Warriors are able to bring it back to the pitch. Miss Chaka was able to get on that ball. Taking a look back in. Looks like Miss Clark is able to bring it back over to Stapler. Nikki's back in control. Scouts out the pitch just a little bit. We'll see where it sends over to. Warriors take it back. Looks like that was number 11 with Miss Fagoti. And with that, Zamudio takes it back. Zamudio still has it. Vida Kosip was able to step in for that. Currently, my bad on that pronunciation, Vida Kosip. Ladner is able to send it back over, crossing that halfway line. Warriors have it back. Following up against the Warriors, we have Miss Segastume taking it up. Multiple Barons on the ball now. Veda Kosup back on it. Back over the Stapler. '14 takes control for a little bit, Miss Martinez. As that happens, Miss Bailey is back in the fray, facing off against two different Warriors, rolls out the pitch. This is number 9 on the Barons. Miss Ladner attempts to take back control over it. Miss Clark on the Warrior side attempts to bring back possession. Charging up forward now, we have Miss Laster. Bailey's back in control. Laster comes to her aid. Kind of hopping back and forth between each side of the pitch on that halfway line. Before now, Miss Ladner is able to take it back control. Laster's back on it. Bailey charges forward. Barons are still in on it. Segastume charges after it. It's able to take back over to Miss Stapler. Clark dribbles it on over, back to Laster. A little bit of collision with the Warriors right there. Able to get back up, though, with it. Flies right on over to Miss Kosip. Rolls on back and forth between individual Warriors. Levin takes it back over on the Warrior side. Miss Vigoti. 5 takes charge, though. Rushing down the Baron side of the pitch. Miss Edson. Number 15 is coming up with this kick for the Warriors. Miss Clark. We got Caitlin Ladner and Miss Chloe Bailey. Back in on it. Ooh. Miss Stapler attempts to save, however, it's a little unsuccessful as she misses that catch, but the Barons pick up a good defense with that. Back over to Stapler's possession. Sent back over to the Barons, Miss Clark. Segastume sends it right back over to Miss Kosip. Stume, if I'm right, having to go through the legs of one of the Warriors right there. It's brought back over to the Barons, Miss Clark, number 20. Even though it's in Warrior possession, Miss Martinez charges forward, and she is able to take possession. And that's a foul. Looks like we got ourselves a team foul on the Barons. Miss Essen on the Warrior side, get ready for this kick. Sends it on over. Stapler takes control. As the penalty area empties, A little bit of encouragement from our scoreboard keeper. Don't know if you guys can actually hear that through the mic. Barons are just passing it back and forth to each other right across that halfway line. Warriors are wanting to keep it right inside the Barons side of the pitch. However, Zamudio does not want that to happen. She keeps on moving forward. Now Laster is able to take it over along with Miss Bailey. With a pass to Ladner. Ladner now able to throw it back into the pitch. Over the Barons, Miss Clark. And that's a foul on Miss Clark. Essen back with the ball. Sends it on over to the other side of the halfway line. Barons are charging forward, however. Laster on the Warriors' heels. Warriors able to bring it to the penalty area. That's another save, if I'm correct, from Miss Stapler. Stapler scouting out the pitch again. Sends it on flying. Diana takes that up. Miss Chaco. As Stukasume sends it back over. It enters the Warriors' penalty area. Their goalie takes it over for a bit. It's back in there. Flies on over to Miss Essen. Stukasume comes forward. Now, I was so happy at the beginning of this match. Oh, before I go on about this, looks like the Warriors are charging forward again, back into the Baron penalty area. Let's see. And look at that. Looks like Ladner was able to prevent a potential score. Yeah, it looks like, however, there is a potential team foul on the Barons. Stapler's still on control, though. Anyways, has the Barons pass it back and forth currently in Miss Clark's possession. Speeding over. Ball must have had some power with that duck from Bailey. Speaking of Bailey, it's 11 on 11. Bailey is in control. Ladner sends it on back. Stukasume battles it out, kicks it up way in the air. And Stukasume gets a foul. Anyways, as the Warriors go for this kick, at the beginning of the game, I was so excited because the clouds were, in fact, covering up the sun, making it a little easier for me to see the numbers of the players. However, now we're officially having to enter sunglasses mode. As it passes on over, Diana and Laster charge forward. After a trip up from Miss Chaco, there's a roar from the audience. Outside the pitch, Warriors look to throw it back in. Well, that was a good charge from Miss Chaco. Chaco being another one of our BPC international students, hailing all the way from Zimbabwe. Ladner sending it back. Laster charging on forward. Her and Diana have their eyes just locked on that ball. Fouls keeping on. Warriors keeping on up. Sorry for that little slip of the tongue right there. Theas keep on going. Kosep brings it on back to Stapler. Stapler once again scouting out the pitch. See what Barons are currently open. Stugastume takes it on over. Dribbles it for a little bit as Mudio brings it on up. Sends it flying way up. Laster sends it on flying over to Clark and Stugastume. Having to duke it out with one of the Warriors. Keeping it outside the penalty area. Warriors regroup. Stapler's at it again. Volleys it on up. Kosep takes it back over, sends it right on back to the Baron penalty area. Clark dribbles it on for a little bit. Passes on over to Stugastume as it's brought back to Zamudio. Warriors have it back. Barron's taking once again back on. Clark is on it. Barron's Clark again. Warriors attempt to intercept that. They're able to bring it on over to the goal area. Woo! I wasn't able to tell a little bit with that save. We'll get an update for you guys in a bit. However, Ms. Stugastume is able to bring it on over to Laster. All right, update on that save. It was Ashley Venegas with that. Stapler scouting out that pitch again. Brought on over to Martinez. Kosep's able to send it on back. This Ladner with a little bit of clever foot play right there. Able to bounce it off of number 15's heels, sending it outside the pitch. Causing the Barons to throw it in. A little bit of slide on that kick as well. Sends it on over to Kosep. Right over to Zamudio. Sent right back outside the pitch again. Back into the Barron penalty area. Looks like that was offside by the Warriors. Clark's back in on it. Venegas takes it back on over. Clark's with it. Sent on over. Warriors still able to have it on the Barron side of the pitch. Chaco takes it back. Martinez sent it flying back in the air to Chaco. Chaco keeps on dribbling on forward all the way to the Warriors side of the pitch. Goes through one. Passes it on to Stugastume. Chaco brings it on forward. As that happens, Miss Bailey takes back control. Slides it on back. Stugastume following the ball along with Miss Chaco again. Sorry for that a little bit. Barons have brought it back over to this side of the pitch. Kosip keeps it in the air. Look at that header, by the way, bringing it on to the other side of the pitch once again. Martinez attempts to take back control. Ladner prepares to throw it back in. Sends it on over to Zamudio. Back over to Ladner. Chaco takes it over with a little bit of a chest bump. Stugastume takes it back. On over to Martinez. Barons having it back on their own side of the pitch. Cubs been able to bring it over to the other side of the halfway line. Crosses it again with the Warriors. They're bringing it on forward. Warriors attempt to pass it on. Instead, they're able to get one of the Barons on the shoulders as Barons send it back over to their side of the pitch. Ball's outside the pitch. Ladner gets ready to throw it back in. Chunks it on over to Clark. Kosip takes it back. Martinez with it now. Venegas sending it back over to Clark. And it's outside the pitch again. Chest bump from one of the Warriors. Ball's up flying again. Martinez keeps it in the air with a headbutt. Warriors able to take back possession until Zamudio is able to, with another headbutt, send it back to the ground. But looks like that is a foul for number 7, Zamudio. Ladies and gentlemen, we got good weather news now. Once again, a cloud has officially covered up the sun, meaning I can finally remove the sunglasses. Warriors send it on flying up. Kosip attempts to take control once again. Laster has it. Chaco attempts to aid her in that. Back in Warrior possession, though. Laster chases back after it on the Barons' end. Bailey scouts out for it. Ladner is able to bring it on to Zamudio. Stugasume's in on it. Zamudio takes back control. Brings it on over to Martinez. Kosip passes it on to an open Venegas. And it's sent back outside the pitch. Ladner on this throw this time. Looks like we got a substitution now. Courtney Powers stepping back in, one of the original starters, in for Veda Kosip. Another mispronunciation has Clayton, our main media guy over here, glaring at me now. You can actually hear it audibly through this live stream if you really want to check. Ladner takes it back. Bailey's on it. Warriors still keeping on this side of the pitch. Powers able to take it over. Flies on over to Stapler. Clark sends it on flying over to Laster. However, it gets back in Warrior possession. Barron's on that defense again. Courtney Powers chasing after the ball. Sent on flying and save by Stapler. You can hear it. Not going to lie, audience, that caught me a little bit off guard. Don't know if you could hear that. Someone just screamed touchdown from our physical audience. Bailey's on it, got her eyes locked on the ball, as does Zamudio. Looks like Ladner's going to be throwing it in again. Clark is able to bring it on over to Zamudio. Miss Clark with that defense. Clearly, I'm not the only excitable one in the press box at the moment. Another shot again. This time goes off a little bit to the side. Barron's really on their defense. Looks like we got a new Barron stepping in. Kayla Lane stepping in for if I'm correct, Miss Caitlin Ladner. Lane stepping in now. Clark gets ready, passes it on to Miss Stapler. Ball zips right on over to Miss Powers. Warriors take back control. Stegastume able to help out with Miss Powers and Miss Zamudio. Keep it in Barron possession. Diana Chaco coming in. Powers on the defensive. Another save by Stapler. Oh, no, not a save? My bad. My bad, not a save. Across by Stapler. That is intercepted by the keeper. And back in Barron penalty area. And that was a save. Again from your Barons. Warriors attempt to shoot. Goes a little bit to my left. Sent on back up past the halfway line. Powers get ready. Sent back over to one of our current subs who's in. Sorry, I missed that unfortunately. Miss Bailey Brandley. Back on up. Gayla chases after it. Looks like we got an offsides on the Warriors. Sent over to Clark. Flies it right on over the other side of the halfway line. Brandley attempts to go after it. Back outside the pitch. Sent on over back inside. A little bit of that knee with Chloe Bailey. Sends it on over. Warriors are back in possession now. Stugastume able to keep it back in bare possession. Chaco charges on forward. Miss Chaco's back in on it. Warriors are able to send it over still. Warriors keep on up. Inside the penalty area. Courtney Powers battling out for the ball. Able to manipulate it on outside the penalty area. Chaco takes it back. Zamudio in on it, back over the Chaco. Sent back on flying. Attempts to head over the Bailey. Warriors take it back though. Zamudio takes it back on. Venegas had it up for a bit. Clark is back in control. Sends it on over to Martinez. Clea and Martinez working together against the Warriors. Able to send it on over to Miss Zamudio and then back over to Miss Clark. Zamudio takes it on back. Doing some impressive footwork right there, sending it back over to Miss Chaco. Chaco doing the same. Flies back on up, attempting to head over to Bailey. Bailey attempting to keep it inside the pitch. Unfortunately, leads to the Warriors now being able to throw it back in. Sends it on up. 14 takes it on over for the Warriors. Bears able to send it to our side of the pitch. Sending it outside of the pitch, though, was Miss Venegas. If I'm correct, still 26. Yep, right there. Miss Venegas brings it on over to Martinez, having to do some foot fighting by the other team. Outside the pitch. Looks like 5 on the Warriors. We throwing it back in. Now back outside the pitch again. Miss Lane goes for it. Jocko able to bring it over to possession to Martinez. Clark attempts to take it over. And that is a goal for Weber International University. Martinez takes back control. Lanes with it. Martinez is back on it. And that's a foul on number 4 for the Warriors. Clark takes it on up. Sends it on over to 24. Miss Victoria Jimenez. Right at 5.5 minutes on the scoreboard right now. It's Jimenez able to keep it right in Barron possession. Along with Chaco battling it out once again. Warriors take back control. Able to slide on over to 24 for the Warriors. Clark sends it flying on over right to Miss Bailey. Bailey keeps it on the other side of the halfway line. Warriors have it back and forth. As Stapler takes back control of the ball for the Barons. The Warriors back in possession now, able to keep it back on the Barons side of the pitch. 24 takes back over. Venegas comes up. Diana Chaco brings it on forward, dribbles it on past. Crosses the halfway line, is able to pass it on to Miss Bailey. Bailey having to battle out with one of the Warriors. Warriors are almost in possession. Bailey almost able to manipulate it right outside the pitch. However, the Warriors are still able to keep control. Passes it on over the 14. Ball shoots over. Number 24 on the Barons, Miss Jimenez. Stapler back with it.
Teams 18 for 11.
In on it. Sent back up. Diana's still battling it out. Looks like Miss Venegas is able to send it back over to Miss Chaco's control, bringing it back over to Miss Bradley. Brandley takes a shot. Brandley takes a shot. It's a little wide, though. Lane takes it on up. Sends it on flying. Warriors take it back. Barons chase after it. Clark able to send it away from the Warriors for a little bit. Venegas is able to charge on back. Less than a minute left now. Stapler rolling onto the ball within the last minute. For a second, I was almost scared we're about to have a dog pile in a soccer match. Stapler gets ready, scouting out the pitch. Barron's preparing for this last 20 or so seconds now. See what they can do to get the score. Sent on forward.
9, 8, 7, 6.
And with that,
5, 4,
the last few seconds of the game
2, 1.
run out. All right. Officially halftime, end of the first period. Warriors are up by 1. We'll see you in about 15 minutes. And the live stream audio is back on right before we actually kick off anything. We'll go over a couple different of our stats that we would have just gotten. The little wrinkling is the actual stats I'm about to be reading from. First of all, major props to Miss Kelsey Stapler, having 4 saves this game so far, doubling that of Miss Cameron Lane on the other side. And the clock is now started. Switching sides now. Before we get right into the action, we'll just go over a couple different stats along the way. First of all, being the number of shots taken, looks like Weber International has a total of 7 shots right now, with Brewton-Parker currently at 2. Brewton-Parker mostly being on the defensive during that first period. Brewton-Parker with our 2 shots coming from Miss Laster, along with the other one coming from Miss Brandley. We'll jump into the rest now. Since we started at the beginning, commenting on the actual weather setting, we'll do that comment one more time, but not before. We note some of the foot play again, once again, from Miss Bailey. Martinez taking back control. Zamudio taking it back. Now jumping back into another description again. Don't know if you guys can see this or if the camera will be able to catch anything. Brewton-Parker recently last year just installed some new lights, and we're currently having those shine down on the field. Looking at just kind of this camera set up again. Right as number 9, Miss Ladner throws it back in. If I'm getting my eyesight correct, back over in Warriors' side of the pitch. Charging up right there was 18, I believe, Miss Laura Burnell. Burnell keeps on going forward, back over into the Warriors' penalty area. Chaco keeps it back up, barely touching it with her heel, right outside the corner. Chaco still with it again. Look at that. Passes it on back. Powers takes it on. Sends it on back to Martinez. Chaco takes back control. Back on now to 24, Miss Jimenez. As that happens, Warriors take back control. Brandley doesn't like that, however. Neither does Miss Bailey. Able to send it outside the pitch. Warriors throw it back in. Able to keep back possession. Diana takes it back. Venegas able to send it right back on over to Zamudio. Ball flies on up and over. Chaco charges forward. Takes it over for just a little bit. Powers is back in on it. Ball is sent right back on flying to Warriors' side of the pitch. Barons having increased aggression during this period. Still back in control. If I'm correct, based on this right now, player's a little bit far away for me to see some of those numbers accurately. Sent back over the penalty area and right back outside the pitch. Ladner looking once again to throw it back in, if I'm correct. Sends it on back up. Ball flies back on over. Warriors attempt to chest butt it. chest bump it a little bit back to the ground. Back over the Barron side of the pitch. Powers keeps it up. Looks like a team foul currently on the Warriors. Jumping over to the stats again now that the action has calmed down a little bit, but probably going to pick back up right as Venegas is passing it on to Martinez. Going into the amount of fouls right now, Brewton-Parker currently with 5, at least as recorded from the first period, and Weber only with 3 at the moment. Bear sends it on off. Powers takes it back. On over to Zamudio. And bounces a little bit of arcs right outside the pitch. Venegas is able to send it over to Chaco. Chaco using the heel of one of the Warriors to bounce it back out to her. Currently with number 11, Miss Bailey back in control, able to send it on over to the goal area. Miss Lane, if I'm correct, able to see that number right. Yep, still Miss Lane. Ladner able to send it flying. Chaco slows down a little bit. Lane is able to roll over it. Chaco putting some speed to that, now charging forward. Bailey doing some footwork with that. Chaco back in control. Oh, spoke a little too soon with that. Zamudio chases after it. Right alongside Miss Ladner. Ball sent back on flying. Over to Bailey. Now Ford takes it over. Miss Brandley. Warriors are back in possession. You could hear a little bit of that Barron reaction to that. Bears attempt. I knew that was going to happen today. Just about called the Warriors Bears. And guarantee that one of the audience members on the live stream could rewind it back to a point where I would have called the Warriors Bears again, mostly because of last game with the men's getting the tie against True McConnell Bears. However, now the Barons have it back in their side of the pitch. Stapler back with it. Chaco back with it. Ref calls a foul on number 25. On the other team is Martina Cavallo. After tripping up Diana Chaco. Ball sent back on flying. Moody attempts to intercept it. I've been seeing Ladner earlier. Able to finally get that correction now that she's coming back over to this side of the pitch. Easier to see. Once again, that is Veda Kosip. Kusip, my bad. Powers is back with it. Mudio takes it over. Back with Martinez after being bounced off of Diana. Brought back over the Powers. On over to Stapler. Warriors throw it on back in. Zamudio chases after it, along with Kosip. Sent over back to Martinez, if I'm correct. Once again, working a little further away from me. Martinez with the headbutt, keeping it up in the air. Powers, attempting to take back control, is able to. Able to get that, sent back over to Venegas. Once again with the major, if I'm correct with that end. Venegas and Martinez chase after it. There's a shot taken. Arches right over the goal. Shouldn't say actually right over. Looking at it again, replaying it. We're like right over to my left side of the goal. Barons take over possession once again a little bit. Back over to their side of the pitch. Martinez is able to send it over to Miss Zamudio. Doing some fancy footwork right there. Venegas with the ball now. Diana attempts to take it back over. Warriors able to send it to the back of the pitch. 24 is able to pass it up. Miss Jimenez. Stapler takes it over. Right back over to Martinez. Powers takes it on. Diana attempting, but unfortunately not able to. Keeping right back on inside the pitch. However, Warriors are able to take back control as they throw it back in. Bring it over back to their goalkeeper, as Miss Brandley takes back control for a moment as the Mundio battles on for Miss Kosip, able to pass it on to Martinez, up in the air for a little bit. Sent on flying with a Warrior headbutt. Barron's able to keep it on their side of the pitch. Venegas takes control, sending it over to Powers. As Powers dribbles the ball around for a little bit and scouts out the pitch. Sends it back over to the Stapler. Stapler now does the same. As does Venegas. Sends it on over flying. Warriors able to keep it back on the other side. However, attempting to do that, it's back outside the pitch. It's Kosip, I believe. Goes in to throw it in. Martinez takes control. Sends it back on. Warriors are back in it. Back outside the pitch. Back up to it. Martinez with a little bit of that chest bump earlier. Crosses that halfway line. Powers manipulating it out a little bit with a little bit of that touch. Sends it back outside the pitch. Powers throwing it back in. Diana Chaco takes back control. Sends it right on over to 24 again, Miss Jimenez. Kosip sends it back on. Powers keeps it right up in the air. Diana Chaco attempts a headbutt. Back over Warriors side of the penalty area. Lane scouts out the pitch.
So you're the one that said that yesterday. Were you the one that said that yesterday?
Diana attempts to keep it right in the Warriors side, where it's able to send it back.
What was that on? Foul on 14.
Sweet. Looks like there's a foul on the Warriors, number 14. It's Viviana Martinez. No.
That's our 14.
My bad. Read that script wrong. Thank goodness our tower was able to call me out on that.
For 14 and 4 for 6.
Back on outside the pitch now. Barons with a bit of that header. Bradley in on it. I'd like to make out that number, believing it is number 11, also helping with that. Miss Bailey. On over to Warrior control once again. Sends it up and over. Stapler sliding on in. That is sent flying. Jocko attempts to take control. Powers gets ready to throw it on in for the Barons. Jocko and Zamudio. Team foul on the Barons now. Coming up forward is Miss Bradley. Brandley, my bad. Goes up at the goalie. Now Powers takes back control. Venegas does the same, having to duke it out with 15. Sends it on over to Kosip. Outside the pitch. Kosip goes on to throw it back in. Ball is sent on flying. Outside the pitch. Looks like at the moment we currently have an injury on the pitch. Miss Cameron Laster. Our bad misread from that roster, Miss Veda Kosip. A little bit of a new lineup now. Number 5, Miss Michaela Smith, stepping in for Beta Kossup. As we continue on forward. If I'm correct, number 2 now, Miss Laster, is also sitting in for Bailey. Set on up forward. Set on back to Laster. Brandley's able to take it up. Laster's back with it. Sends it on over. And Lane, Miss Lane, the goalkeeper of the Warriors, is able to take back control. Back in on it. Warriors are able to send it to the other side of the pitch. Power is able to keep the ball away from the goal area. Almost single-handedly at that point. Power still on it. Along with that, Ms. Martinez, a little bit previously, able to help reinforce that as ball rolls outside the pitch and right under the scoreboard as well. With that on it, Warriors able to keep it on the Barron side of the pitch. Once again, outside of it now, right behind the goal. Benegas is able to send it over to Chaco. Chaco attempting to step back in. Stapler takes it on up. Stapler volleys it on back up. Chaco's back with it. Send over to Laster. Brandley takes it on back. However, the Warriors are back in possession now. Zamudia attempts to go forward with that. As Miss Michaela Smith aids in the attempt to bring the ball back in Barron possession. However, looks like the Warriors will be throwing it in once again. Warriors are able to keep it on the Barron side. Zamudio. All the Barons currently just piling on the ball. Warriors having to weave in and out of them. Miss Venegas turning around, taking the ball to the back with that block. Absolutely incredible. Martinez attempting to take it back over once again. As Powers charges on forward along with Venegas. 24, Miss Jimenez takes it on up. Chaco with it now. Passes on over to Laster. Brings it on over to Brandley. And sent back over to the other side of the halfway line. Brought back over to Venegas. Laster attempts to take it back over. Now on to Bradley. Brandley. Brandley having to battle it out with that on the other side of the halfway line. Barons attempt to take it over outside the pitch. If I'm correct, Warriors will be throwing it in. As Warriors throw it back in. All sent up flying. Barons having to play a tight defense at this moment. Having a crowd around the ball once again. 24 on the Warriors. Attempts to shoot. It's Brianna Roberts. Venegas attempting to pass it on to Martinez. However, Warriors able to intercept that. Martinez having to battle it out now. Rolls on outside the pitch. And onto the track. Warriors get ready to send it back in now. Barons crowd around the ball for a minute. Ball's up and out in the air. Diana Chaco with the header. Chaco's still charging on forward. Arching around a little bit. Now able to take it back over. As it's sent right back outside the pitch. Ball's back on up. Zamudia is in control for a bit. As that occurs, Miss Smith attempts to pass it on over. However, Warriors able to intercept that. I believe, if I'm correct, Miss Sagastuma with that header. She continues pushing on forward, Miss Sagastuma. Able to bring it on over to Diana Chaco. Refs have a reaction. Audience has a bit of a reaction to that.
Yeah, she was off.
Offsides on Weber. Our scorekeeper's happy about that one. Venegas sends it on up. Powers avoiding the Warriors. Attempts to send it on over to Zamudio. Warriors are able to take it back over. They bring it on up the field. Send it on back. Clock stopped at 13-13. Our scorekeeper very happy about that unlucky number now.
10 for 18 for Weber. 10 for 18 and then 22 for Weber. Thank you. Hey, who's the one that's down?
Looks like we got a
14 is the one that's down?
injury on the field. We'll go muted for a little bit and see how this plays out. Looks like Laura Bernal is currently going to be stepping in for Viviana Martinez. Along with that, Miss Bailey Brandley will be stepping in for Miss Michaela Smith. Able to get off the unlucky number from the scoreboard. From the time, as I say that, of course, Laster's able to send it back on up. Barons pumping on the gas for this part of the period now. Zamudio sends it on back. Bornal chases after the ball, takes it back over. She steps in and already causes chaos. Stugastuma currently in control of the ball, able to pass it right back on. Barron still able to keep it on the Warrior side of the pitch. Warriors bring it back. Ball is sent right back up from Miss Bailey. Warriors set to bring it back. Jocko charges forward a bit. Bernal has a little bit of a slide as Laster sends it back up in the air. Ball sent back across the halfway line. Zamudio is able to send it over to Laster. As that occurs, Miss Jimenez is able to bring it up. Back in Warrior possession, though. That only lasts for a brief minute. As I say that, Coach, Brandley is able to send it up the pitch. However, Barons lose control for that minute, but not for long. Zamudio takes it on back. Barons are still attempting to surround the ball. Warriors send it up to our side of the pitch. Stapler again with a save. Ball's back up in the air. Diana takes control. Outside the pitch now. Warriors should be throwing it back in. Now less than 10 minutes remaining in the second period of this match. Barons looking within this time to tie back up the game. Ball's attempted to send back over to Powers. Warriors charge back on forward. Stapler keeps it out. If I'm correct, that would be a block from Miss Bailey. Even if I'm not, that spin maneuver needs to count as something. Bernal attempts to slide to get it out of Warrior control. Zamudio having locked eyes with the ball. Now Powers goes on forward. Warriors retreat. Attempting to send the ball back to their own side of the pitch. Back over to 13 on the Warriors side. My bad, 12. Looks like Miss Bailey is able to take back control. Diana Chaco all the way up in front. Stuma attempts to go at it with the header. Looks like we got a team foul on the Warriors. Brewton-Parker audience, physical audience, is pretty excited about that one. You could hear a little bit of their rumblings in the background. Stuma brings it on back to Jimenez. Potentially a little bit too much power on that kick is out of sense. Over and outside of the pitch. Almost rolling to the Barons track. Chaco charges on forward, along with Stuma. Warriors still attempting to keep it in their possession. Venegas is able to take back control, sending on over to the other side of the pitch. Not Bernal, if I'm correct. Able to bring it on forward. Warriors throw it back in. Diana attempts to intercept that, Miss Chaco. As I say that, Miss Bailey gets ready. Brings it on forward. As Miss Brandley battles it out for it. Subbing for Brewton-Parker, it looks like Miss Kayla Lane will be subbing in for Laura Bernal, 19 for 18. Outside the pitch once again. Barons needing to score within this next 5.5 minutes to get the tie. Zamudio is able to take control for a bit. Rock back over to Jimenez. And Warrior goalkeeper takes back control. Not a little over 5 minutes left. Warriors back in on it. And with that, Jimenez is able to send the ball on the other side of the halfway line. Diana Chaco is able to keep the ball inside the pitch. That little move by the Warriors caught a reaction from the Brewton-Parker Stadium. Stadium also really enjoyed that call from that foul called from the ref as well. Powers now going for the kick. Ball sent back on flying. Their goalkeeper is able to catch that though. Ball sent up and over. Right over to Miss Lane. Lane is able to throw it back in. Chaco keeps it in the air. Attempts to go in with the header. Chaco doing some more footwork right there. And it's on the other side of the halfway line, but just enough for Venegas to take back control. Warriors charge on forward. Jimenez attempts to go in to protect that one. Stapler with the save again. Stapler out here acting like Superman, treating the ball like it's Lois Lane with all those saves. Lane's back in on it. Diana keeping it inside the pitch.
Okay, calm down.
So we're back in on it. Ball sent rolling on over. Vanessa takes it on.
9,
As Clayton counts down.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
The game ends. So as Clayton also has said, I don't know if he could hear it, that's a long 1 second. Doesn't count as stealing someone's words if you quote them. However, that will be a win for Weber. It's hard fought match, that soccer game. We hope to see you guys tomorrow for our next game. I've been your host, Rains McMichael. Thank you so much for supporting us, Bearing Nation. We'll see you soon.